so that your voice is heard.
Now on NBC Palm Springs at 6, a car accident in Rancho Mirage last night sent 2 people to the hospital. Plus, the California Winter League hosted their first Across the Aisle event. We have the details ahead.
We're tracking cloudy skies, light rain, and weak winds. Your NBC Palm Springs starts now.
Now, connecting the valley, this is NBC Palm Springs at 6.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Caitlin Kelly. A car accident last night in Rancho Mirage sent 2 people to the hospital and 1 person to jail. That's tonight's top story. At approximately 9:30 p.m. Friday night, deputies were dispatched to the area of Bob Hope Drive and Highway 111 regarding a vehicle collision. Upon arrival, deputies located 2 vehicles with collision damage. The driver and passenger of 1 vehicle were transported to a local hospital in stable condition, while the driver of the second vehicle was taken into custody for driving under the influence. Police say this is an ongoing investigation and no further details are available. And this accident happened at the same time that the Palm Desert Sheriff's Station were holding a DUI checkpoint in Rancho Mirage. The checkpoint started at 6 p.m. and ended at 2 a.m. this morning. This morning, Riverside County Sheriff released the data from yesterday's checkpoint. A total of 974 vehicles were contacted. 51 of those vehicles were subjected to secondary screening. 17 drivers were cited for driving without a license. 8 were cited for miscellaneous traffic violations, and 2 people were arrested for driving under the influence. Riverside County Sheriff wants to remind the community that drivers caught driving impaired and charged with a first-time DUI face an average of $13,500 in fines and penalties, as well as a suspended license. Now, this afternoon, the California Winter League hosted their first Across the Aisle event with California gubernatorial candidates Chad Bianco and Ian Calderon. The 2 answered questions between innings with our very own Tim O'Brien about how they would make California a better place to live and what they can do to bring their vision to life.
Sometimes Sacramento is preventing us from doing everything right. We just have to change that agenda. We have to change that direction, make crime a crime again, and make sure that we keep our communities safe.
Guys, this is an important election because the future of this state is going to depend on who the next governor is. We cannot expect things to change and be different if we keep electing the same people with the same ideas. We need a new generation of leadership to step up. I believe I represent that, and I'd be honored to have your support.
Both candidates met with fans and voters and answered all their questions at their informational booths. Elections will be held in November. Let's take a quick break from the headlines and take a live look from our Agua Caliente casino camera in downtown Palm Springs. Kai Beach is in the Weather Center with your weekend forecast.
Well, happy Saturday, everyone. We got reports of light rain, some cloudy skies, and some weak winds across Southern California. This is what we're looking at. Mild and drier conditions. We're surrounded by showers, even some snow. Hopefully we can get some of that up in Big Bear. When it comes to the winds, we're pretty calm here on the valley floor, but our high desert communities across Southern California could see gusts up to nearly 70 miles an hour. When it comes to air quality, we're doing good here on the valley floor. At parts of the IE, OC, and LA, they're looking at moderate conditions. For the highs today, well, take a look at Big Bear, just getting up to 40 degrees. Cabazon, low 60s. Up the hill, Joshua Tree, mid 50s. And here on the valley floor, we're looking at low to mid 70s. For tonight's evening stroll, it's going to be nice out there. I kind of like this gloomy weather. 6 o'clock, we're looking at mid 60s. By 10, we're looking at low 60s. And at midnight, we are finally into the 50s. For low temps tonight, take a look at Big Bear. That is chilly. We're talking 10 degrees. Joshua Tree right around freezing on the valley floor. East End, Indio, 44. West End, Palm Springs, we're looking at 48 degrees. For tomorrow, temperatures pretty similar to what they were today. 72 in Palm Springs. You head to the coast, you're looking at mid 60s. On the board for tomorrow, mix of 60s and 70s. The high, Rancho Mirage 74, the low, Idlewild 60. And that 3-day forecast brought to you by Comfort Air. Sunday, low 70s. By Tuesday, mid 70s. And those overnight lows, mid to high 40s. I'll have a full forecast coming up in just a bit.
I wonder if it's fine as
The BNP Paribas Open announced yesterday that local singer Abby Carter will hit the Village stage on Wednesday, March 4th, during the tournament. This performance marks a special homecoming for the Indio-born artist. After winning American Idol Season 22, Abby Carter has performed at Acrisure Arena, played the main stage at Stagecoach, and released her acclaimed album Ghosts in the Backyard, and has, of course, toured worldwide. Some roadway improvements in Indio will be underway starting next week. From Tuesday, January 27th through March 31st, construction will be happening on the north side of Indio Boulevard between the Union Pacific Railroad tracks and Burr Street. The work will include adding new water lines, sidewalks, and curbs, and widening the roads. All westbound traffic will be reduced to one lane, and one of the two northbound turn lanes from Jefferson Street to westbound Indio Boulevard will be closed. Officials are warning drivers to expect delays, plan to use a different route, and to allow extra travel time.
And now, NBC Palm Springs Sports with Tim O'Brien, powered by Agua Caliente Casino.
Well, the third round of the American Express golf tournament wrapped up earlier today. Tim O'Brien and Judd Spicer are standing by at PGA West with your full tournament recap. How's the concert going out there, guys?
And write a lot of songs. You know, Taylor Swift.
Yeah, it sounds great. Ryan Tedder, One Republic, a few songs into their set, and brings me back to 2008, sophomore in college, Tim, when there was no worries in the world. That sounds great. This is fun, man. We're so lucky to have this in our backyard.
Yeah, man. You know, to be honest, not quite as many people as there were last night, but this is still a good crowd, and that's kind of how it goes with the Amex Concert Series. I feel like I'm being mean, Tim, but last night was a huge for Old Dominion. This is still pretty good, 8,000 or 9,000, I would say.
Yeah, we'll take it, and that wind is picking up, and we hope that's not the case for tomorrow in the final round. We got to talk golf here, thanks to Desert Willow, of course, for having you a part of all this weekend. Blades Brown, 18 years old, tied with Scotty Scheffler, the world #1 for second. Wow. Are you ready for tomorrow?
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest. And I don't know if Blades Brown is either. As you said, 18 years old. If he were to pull this off tomorrow, he'd be the second youngest winner in the history of the PGA Tour, and that's just by a couple months. He'd be the youngest winner in nearly a century to get it done. Also on Blades, look, the kid has played 8 consecutive days of tournament golf. He had a Corn Ferry Tour event in the Bahamas preceding this. That was Sunday to Wednesday. He flew 2,500 miles to get here, has now played 3 more days in a row. We'll see if he's got the juice to get it done. They tee off, by the way, about 10:35 tomorrow morning.
Completely different situation and scenario for you and I, but I have played back-to-back days before, and I felt terrible for 3 days. Now, I don't have the training staff and the massage, but still, I mean, that's not easy. I don't care how old you are.
No, I was going to say, even for an 18-year-old, I don't mean to be critical, but watching him today, he signed hundreds of autographs after the round. He did a bunch of interviews. And even for an 18-year-old dude, he looked a little bit tired. Again, he's got that later tee time. He's going to get some rest. But he's going to need the juice and a good breakfast to be going head-to-head with the world #1 Scotty Scheffler in that final pairing.
It's going to be interesting. We're about 20 seconds or so here, Judd. What are you looking for most tomorrow? Just a solid round from all 3? The 18-year-old maybe pull off the upset? It's a great story.
We've got those 3. In the penultimate group, we've also got journeyman Eric Cole, kind of a late bloomer, 37. He is Palm Springs born if you're looking for a local favorite. 0 wins in his career. It'd be fun to see him make a run. Beyond that, look, as we said on Thursday, it'd be great to have this on Scotty Scheffler's resume. Has yet to win here, going for win number 20 in his career. Get it at the American Express would be big for everybody.
Oh, we can't wait. Buckle up. We'll have all the coverage, of course. We'll speak with the winner tomorrow here on NBC Palm Springs, so be sure to stay with us. That's Judd Spicer. I'm Tim O'Brien, and that's Ryan Tedder behind us. Caitlin, back to you.
Thanks so much, guys. Looks like so much fun out there. Well, January is National Blood Donor Month, and we are shining a spotlight on the urgent need for blood donations as they drop during the winter. Health leaders say the need never slows and every donation saves lives. Our Kai Beach has the story.
People across the Coachella Valley are rolling up their sleeves to help save lives at Lifestream Blood Bank in Rancho Mirage.
It's important to me to donate blood because I've had a lot of loved ones that have needed surgery, and in some cases, units of blood. Like, for example, my wife, when she had our daughter.
Leaders say they're hoping to see more donors come in during January, which is National Blood Donor Month.
It's important to donate blood because all the blood supply is very low right now.
Mike, a spokesperson for Livestream, says the process is simple, but the impact is powerful. Just 1 pint of donated blood can help save up to 3 lives. And the need is constant. Every 2 seconds, someone in the U.S. needs blood. Still, fewer than 5% of eligible donors actually donate.
If you can, offer your services to the community and donate blood, then sure, we all should be doing that.
We could feel his vein right here, but it could be going that way.
But if donating blood isn't for you, Livestream is always looking for volunteers. And with a national blood shortage, these donors hope to inspire others in our community to roll up their sleeves and help save lives. I'm Kai Beach with NBC Palm Springs.
Still ahead, a Minneapolis man has been shot and killed by federal immigration agents. We have those details ahead. Stay with us.
Missed the news yesterday? Well, don't worry. You can watch the latest stories and even original news programming over on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Every morning at 6 a.m., Jerry and I are here to help you start your day informed and connected. And after our newscast, I head out into our community to listen and bring you the stories that truly impact our lives here in the Valley so that your voice is heard.
You're watching our digital live stream. For the latest news and updates on developing stories, head over to our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Don't miss our digital exclusive content. Me on a Plate, Talking with Thalia, Kai the Deal Guy, and Desert Entertainment with Todd. Only on NBCPalmSprings.com.
News isn't all we do. We have a wide variety of original programming for you to enjoy over on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Successful wildlife projects are happening all across the Salton Sea. And in the middle of these restoration efforts, lithium enters the equation. Dive into the delicate balance of nature and the emerging Lithium Valley, streaming on NBCPalmSprings.com.
Committed to covering our community. You're watching NBC Palm Springs at 6.
Welcome back. Federal immigration agents shot and killed a 37-year-old Minneapolis man this morning. The Department of Homeland Security say that officers were conducting an operation when they were approached by an armed Minneapolis resident. The department said the man was shot after resisting efforts to disarm him. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey, who has been vocal in his criticism of federal immigration enforcement operations in his city, says he saw the video of the incident and is now repeating his calls to end the action of ICE in Minneapolis.
Just saw a video of more than 6 masked agents pummeling one of our constituents and shooting him to death. How many more residents, how many more Americans need to die or get badly hurt for this operation to end?
In the light of these incidents, questions are circulating about how federal agents use force and how those incidents are investigated. Experts say recent cases point to concerning patterns. And our very own NBC Palm Springs' Alondra Campos has the in-depth story.
From border crossings to city streets, immigration enforcement is playing out in very public ways. According to the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement data, this year alone, more than 70,000 detentions have been carried out, and at least 6 deaths have occurred under ICE custody. We sat down with investigative journalist John Carlos Frey, who tells us that while federal agencies released arrest numbers and data, they often leave out what happens during encounters that turn violent. Operations led by Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents and U.S. Customs and Border Patrol officers have fallen under public scrutiny for the alleged use of excessive force in recent months. These are just some of the images that caught the eye of researcher and investigative journalist John Carlos Frey, who has closely followed federal enforcement along the U.S.-Mexico border and across the nation.
I've seen these kinds of incidents at the border for a long time. U.S. Border Patrol would chase down migrants, they would ram them with their cars, they would apprehend them, they would beat them, they would shoot their weapons at them, and this was a lawless, unknown area of the United States, and there were little investigations. Now Border Patrol and ICE are in the interior. We're seeing the same tactics.
His work includes the recently released HBO documentary Critical Incident: Death at the Border, which examines the case of Anastasio Hernandez Rojas, a migrant who died after being repeatedly shocked and beaten by U.S. Border Patrol agents in 2010. But Frey says cases like Anastasio's are not confined to the past.
The main focus of the documentary, the HBO documentary, is the corruption within CBP, within Border Patrol, ICE, covering up murders, protecting their own. I see that still happening, but I see it on steroids.
Frey points to a series of recent immigration enforcement operations that have drawn criticism for alleged excessive force. Among them, the fatal shooting of Renee Nicole Good, a 37-year-old American citizen, during a federal operation in Minneapolis earlier this month.
Today, if you have the administration shutting down an investigation and you have hundreds, possibly thousands of people with their cell phone cameras in Minneapolis, for example, with incidents that are occurring regularly, does that evidence matter if the administration is shutting down the investigation? I'm not suggesting who's right and who's wrong, but there's no investigation.
According to the Gun Violence Archive, U.S. immigration agents have been involved in at least 16 shooting incidents under the current federal enforcement expansion. Recent data shows more than 30 deaths of detainees have occurred under ICE custody since last year. One of those, Luis Beltran Yanes Cruz, a 68-year-old undocumented migrant from Honduras who died at John F. Kennedy Memorial Hospital in Indio on January 6 under ICE custody.
Fortunately, with the case in the documentary, we were able to obtain medical records. We were able to get testimony from the coroner. We were able to get information that I don't think that you're going to be able to get about this man who died of heart-related conditions. Like I said, I don't know of federal officials, federal law enforcement officials being forthright with information.
According to the Department of Homeland Security, 70% of those arrested by ICE are convicted criminals or have criminal charges, a statistic Frey challenges based on his research. In Frey's book, Sand and Blood, he warns that information from federal agencies does not capture what happens during arrests, in detention facilities, or in the field.
What I've investigated and what I've reported on for my entire career, I just see what is happening at the border, happening in Minneapolis, or happening in Los Angeles or Chicago. They've brought that whole infrastructure, that whole cover-up mentality into the interior of the United States.
We reached out to U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement for clarification on its use of force policies during arrests and detentions, as well as its procedures for investigating critical incidents involving ICE officers. The agency did not respond to our request for comment. However, ICE policy posted on the agency's website states that officers are authorized to use force only when objectively reasonable and necessary, allowing deadly force only when necessary to prevent imminent death or serious injury to themselves or others. Critical incidents, such as deaths of individuals under ICE custody, are subject to internal review. But Frey says the manner in which these policies are carried out lead to impunity.
If you wear a badge and you carry a gun and handcuffs, that you upholding the law is at a higher standard than a citizen. So if I have immunity, that means I can do anything to you when I choose, and I'm not subject to the same laws that you are.
As ICE operations continue to expand nationwide, the accountability and transparency behind detainments continues to be an unanswered question for communities under the scope of federal agents. Federal immigration agencies say use of force incidents are rare and subject to review, but civil rights groups argue those processes lack transparency. For the full interview with journalist John Carlos Frey and to know more about his work, you can visit NBCPalmSprings.com. For NBC Palm Springs, I'm Alondra Campos.
Taking a live look from our Indian Wells Golf Resort camera, your full forecast with Kai Beach is next.
Missed the news yesterday? Well, don't worry. You can watch the latest stories and even original news programming over on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Every morning at 6 a.m., Jerry and I are here to help you start your day informed and connected. And after our newscast, I head out into our community to listen and bring you the stories that truly impact our lives here in the Valley so that your voice is heard.
You're watching our digital live stream. For the latest news and updates on developing stories, head over to our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Don't miss our digital exclusive content. Me on a Plate, Talking with Thalia, Kai the Deal Guy, and Desert Entertainment with Todd. Only on NBCPalmSprings.com.
News isn't all we do. We have a wide variety of original programming for you to enjoy over on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Successful wildlife projects are happening all across the Salton Sea. And in the middle of these restoration efforts, lithium enters the equation. Dive into the delicate balance of nature and the emerging Lithium Valley, streaming on NBCPalmSprings.com.
Worried about missing
We're taking a live look from our Walter Clark Highway 111 camera. A couple people still on the road this Saturday evening. Meanwhile, Kai Beach is standing by. He has your full forecast.
So not the best weather we've had in Palm Springs, but definitely not the worst. Today's high, 73 degrees, so we're right around average for this time of year, but we are seeing cloudy skies, reports of light rain, and some weak Santa Ana winds. When it comes to those winds, pretty chill over the next few days. We're looking around 20 miles an hour near Whitewater and Desert Hot Springs, but some of our high desert communities around Southern California, they could see gusts up to nearly 60, 70 miles an hour. For the highs today, Big Bear City, we're looking at 40 degrees. Here on the valley floor, we're looking at mid to low 70s, and up the hill in Joshua Tree, mid 50s. For tonight, Joshua Tree almost freezing. Big Bear City below freezing, 10 degrees. And here in Palm Springs, 48 degrees. In Indio, on the east side of the valley, we're looking at 44. Now, you might think this is cold for us and you might want to light a fire. Make sure you check before you burn. This is coming from the Air Quality Management District. Now, we might say, hey, it's cold, it's chilly here, but definitely not compared to the rest of the country. Let's take a look at that winter storm slamming the south. Denver, 18 degrees. Kansas City, 6 degrees. Minneapolis, -1. Our friends on the West Coast, Seattle 46, and in the Bay Area, we're looking at mid 60s. For tomorrow morning, if you go outside, grab a jacket. You might want to wear a little beanie as well. 6 o'clock, high 40s. By 10 o'clock, low 60s, and at noon, just under 70 degrees. Monday, temperatures pretty average for this time of year. We're looking at 73 in Palm Springs, Joshua Tree 61. 7-day forecast brought to you by Comfort Air. Take a look. We are going to see those temperatures start to rise. We're looking at 72 on Sunday. By Thursday, we're back in the 80s, and those overnight lows go from mid 40s to low 50s.
Missed the news yesterday? Well, don't worry. You can watch the latest stories and even original news programming over on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Every morning at 6 a.m., Jerry and I are here to help you start your day informed and connected. And after our newscast, I head out into our community to listen and bring you the stories that truly impact our lives here in the Valley so that your voice is heard.
You're watching our digital live stream. For the latest news and updates on developing stories, head over to our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Don't miss our digital exclusive content. Me on a Plate. Talking with Thalia. Kai, the Deal Guy. And Desert Entertainment with Todd. Only on NBCPalmSprings.com.
News isn't all we do. We have a wide variety of original programming for you to enjoy over on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Successful wildlife projects are happening all across the Salton Sea. And in the middle of these restoration efforts, lithium enters the equation. Dive into the delicate balance of nature and the emerging Lithium Valley, streaming on NBCPalmSprings.com.
Worried about missing a broadcast?
And now the Agua Caliente Entertainment Report, brought to you by Agua Caliente Casinos.
Well, it's been a milestone week for actress Teyana Taylor. She earned her first Oscar nomination on Thursday, and tonight she's hosting Saturday Night Live for the first time. Mark Barger has her reaction to both.
What's poppin', y'all? It's your girl Teyana Taylor, and I will be hosting SNL this week with Geese.
This week was already big for the Harlem native.
And Teyana Taylor.
Thursday, it got even bigger with an Oscar nomination.
It's an emotion that I don't have enough words to even explain the feeling. But one thing I know for sure is that I am beyond grateful.
I'll be seeing you very soon.
Not if I see you first.
Teyana Taylor's supporting actress nomination for One Battle After Another comes after a Golden Globe win earlier this month.
It just shows that the wait is not punishment, it is preparation. And I think that all the years I've been putting in work and, staying patient has been the preparation for these moments to come.
Taylor's next moment to come is this weekend.
Honestly, it's so fast-paced, but I love it. And it's such a safe space. They set you up for greatness.
That includes going through 40 to 50 potential sketches for the show.
And to see so many people come together and just laugh for hours straight is like something I never really experienced before. We going to his dressing room. Let's go.
And Saturday night will put an exclamation point on a memorable week.
I'll just suck on mine. I think once I finally sit down, maybe Sunday when I really sit down, I think it's all gonna sink in.
Mark Barger, NBC Entertainment.
Missed the news yesterday? Well, don't worry. You can watch the latest stories and even original news programming over on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Every morning at 6 a.m., Jerry and I are here to help you start your day informed and connected. And after our newscast, I head out into our community to listen and bring you the stories that truly impact our lives here in the Valley so that your voice is heard.
You're watching our digital live stream. For the latest news and updates on developing stories, head over to our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Don't miss our digital exclusive content. Me on a Plate. Talking with Thalia. Kai, the Deal Guy. And Desert Entertainment with Todd. Only on NBCPalmSprings.com.
News isn't all we do. We have a wide variety of original programming for you to enjoy over on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Successful wildlife projects are happening all across the Salton Sea. And in the middle of these restoration efforts, lithium enters the equation. Dive into the delicate balance of nature and the emerging Lithium Valley, streaming on NBCPalmSprings.com.
Worried about missing a broadcast? Don't worry. We stream just about everywhere from Instagram to YouTube.
A teacup Yorkie named Roxy has returned home to her family after being stolen by a DoorDash delivery driver. The puppy ran out of the apartment door during delivery process and went into the elevator where the food delivery man scooped up Roxy. However, after calling the cops, the concierge delivered the good news that the same man in the elevator came to return Roxy. The owner decided not to press charges after she was returned safely, and Roxy is now back home with her family. I love a happy ending, especially when it has to do with the dog. We'll see you tonight at 11.